Hello, hello. It is that time of year, aka fall, aka almost time for Halloween, which are some of my favorite lessons to teach in the elementary music classroom. So we're going to go ahead, dive right in. Let's get started. So as per usual, grab your piece of paper, grab your notes. We're going to go over this real quick, just a synopsis, and then I'll walk you through some of the more technical aspects at the end of the video. First things first, this is a complete play-along story lesson plan that goes with the story at the old haunted house. And if you don't know in the old haunted house, it's really simple. Picture the old classical song, Over in the Meadow, that song, and now put it with some wonderful Halloween-y treats and tricks. There will be witches, there will be black cats, there will be werewolves, ghosts, and so much more. And what I've done is I've taken that story and made it into a full interactive lesson where your students are going to be singing, playing, dancing, and experiencing a little bit of minor versus major action. But now instead of Over in the Meadow, it's at the old haunted house in a room with no sun lived a warty green witch and her wee witchy one. So creepy, so wonderful. But that's not all I have to show you. So let's go through it real quick. The first things first, you want your students to be practicing their treble clef letters, but why not do it in a way that is fun and engaging and in the spirit of some Halloween times? Complete the spooky riddle and discover the secret word. The vampire finished his midnight snack. Now he is F-E-D. He is fed. All right, complete the spooky riddle. The witch's cauldron bubbles, but the spell won't work without a treasure from a raven's nest. So on and so forth. It's easy, it's simple. It's as spooky as I can make it. And it leads your students to trying out the first part of In the Old Haunted House, right? First, you just have them add in the letters. And what I like to do is I actually like to play it for them first with the two sharps at the front, making it a major sounding song. And then let's make it just a bit more Halloween-y. Take away those sharps and give them that experience of, ooh, how did this change? Then you start reading the story. And throughout the entire story, not only do the words and the rhythms change, but this is also a great time to talk about tempo. But again, some spooky tempo. Now, a ghost is lento, the goblin is largo, the witch is adagio, so on and so forth. All the monster songs will have different tempos. Find which tempo for the song and play it one more time. This was the song that happened to be about the witch. So they tap on the witch. It was adagio. She's leisurely. She's not moving too quickly. So they play it, sing it. Maybe you're doing boomwhackers. Maybe you're doing bells. Maybe you're just doing solfege hand signs with your students. Either way, now they do it adagio, leisurely. And you go back to the story. This you do a couple different times, changing it up each time. Cold Draft Blue lived a big mom monster, all right? Stir called the mob, we stir cried the two. This is just a little simple thing to get your students a little more engaged with it so that they're not sitting too much. Can they come up and add the rhythms that they hear? Stir called the ma, we stir cried the two. What I love about this is it also connects with a digital and a printable worksheet. I make sure that the only thing that they can touch is the things that you want them to touch. And you can choose to do this at the end of the lesson, have them do it individually, as a group, or throughout the lesson as you go. Each time the monster changes, so does the song, and so does the tempo. Just to make sure that this lesson doesn't have too much sitting in it, I always make sure to add in a couple movement breaks and a couple rhythm breaks as well. This one for In the Hall of Mountain King is one of my favorites. There's also another pause in the story where you want your students to figure out the candy beats. Again, this goes with an assessment, digital or printable, where you have your students analyze the rhythms for candy corn, candy apple, and so on and so forth. This lesson is the perfect way to give your students a spooky treat. It's virtually no prep for you, unless you need to print out the worksheets to grab that cheeky assessment and the data you need to show just how much your students are learning. Because in this one lesson that I use for my students 3rd grade through 5th grade, your students are up and playing, they're working on their treble clef letters, they're changing up the tempo, getting an experience with the changes in tempo and dynamics in a fun and engaging play along, and even doing some rhythm analysis as they connect the rhythms to the candies. This lesson is simple, fun, and effective, and is perfect for if you're like me and you want to bring these fun activities into your music classroom, but you don't always necessarily have the time to make these lessons yourself. Then this isn't the only Halloween lesson plan that I have up and ready. And you can try out my entire curriculum, including all of these Halloween lessons, for 1 free month. Just click the link in the description below and get ready to give your students a spooky surprise. But if that's really not in your budget right now, although I do try to make my monthly membership affordable to all, where you not only get my full curriculum, my professional development, my movement breaks, and all of my scarf dances, but also an additional 3 lessons every single month, which I like to think is definitely less than we spend hurriedly trying to grab something fun and engaging on Teachers Pay Teachers the night before. But I also try to post a lot of free content, so make sure you like, subscribe, and follow along. Because you can also grab some Halloween inspo on my other lesson plans that are right now all very spooky, but also some of my rhythm plans play-alongs, my movement breaks, and professional development for music educators made by this music educator. This account is still growing, so make sure to follow along, because bringing meaningful movement into your classroom shouldn't just be for the teachers that have the time and can afford a certificate. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a spooktacular October. Right now, I'm making this September 26th, but by next week, I will have an additional 3 new movement breaks lesson plans and more posted to the page. So make sure you're checking back. Thank you for joining along with me, and happy playing.